Hi, everyone, and welcome back. So, as you're all probably aware, the reason why married couples end up getting divorced can vary. But the most common reasons for divorce typically include communication issues, where there's poor communication or just lack of communication, which can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and feelings of neglect. And this can erode marital satisfaction. Obviously, infidelity and engaging in extramarital affairs are one of the leading causes of divorce today, and the betrayal of trust and the emotional impact can be difficult for many relationships to overcome. Some other reasons may be incompatibility, or at least the discovery of this once the knot has been tied. And there's also the probability of physical or emotional abuse, and this includes any form of domestic violence, emotional manipulation, or other abuse, which is a clear ground for divorce. Another sticking point that leads to a partner being served includes lack of commitment, unrealistic expectations, possible addiction issues like addiction to substances, gambling, or other behaviors, which can cause significant harm to the marital relationship and can be a major factor in the decision to divorce. And let's not forget a decrease in emotional or physical intimacy, which can leave partners feeling disconnected and may lead to a loss of marital satisfaction due to a lack of intimacy. However, right now, today, more and more couples are calling it quits and breaking it off for one or maybe both of these two main reasons, and they are financial problems and major life changes. Money issues, including disagreements about spending habits, financial goals, and financial stress, can create significant strain in a marriage. And this can stem from significant life events such as the birth of a child, an illness, or, and you probably guessed it, job loss. These bombshells can alter the dynamics of a relationship and lead to conflicts and irreconcilable differences. All right, guys. So I got a few articles here, stories, and talking points that I want to share with you all. And please do me a favor. Stick around until the end because I have something very, very important that I want to share with you that I'm sure all of you are asking yourselves right now. Additionally, please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out tremendously. And we're going to get started here with the first one being companies are cutting worker benefits to offset the sting of high inflation, and employees are losing key job perks as companies look to cut costs. And it says here in my notes, my summary, companies are cutting worker benefits as a strategy to offset the impact of high inflation. And according to Glassdoor, an increasing number of employees have lost access to benefits like 401k, retirement plans, dental insurance, vision insurance, and tuition assistance in 2023. While companies are looking to reduce total compensation to cope with the economic slowdown, wages and salaries for existing employees typically to remain stable. Instead, they are reducing salaries and companies are cutting costs through other means, such as reducing hours for non-salary workers and reducing contributions to benefits like health insurance or retirement plans. And this trend has been most prominent in industries like tech and finance. We've all seen the headlines, especially at the beginning of 2023, and odds are to kick off 2024, we're probably going to see more of the same. But Glassdoor predicts that more companies will scale back benefits in 2024 due to the uncertain economy and the economic outlook. Some benefits like fertility assistance, adoption assistance, parental leave, and mental health care remain untouched for now. However, if companies scrutinize costs and their necessity for retaining workers, these benefits could also be at risk in 2024, despite the great resignation trend in the labor market. And there are signs that the job market is starting to soften as job growth has slowed and unemployment rates have increased. Now, I will tell you guys this, and I've seen this happen firsthand, and it's actually happening more and more. And if you work for a particular company and you happen to see an introduction of increased workforce, but you don't really know exactly what their role is and what they do, odds are they are probably there to evaluate and identify waste. And with this evaluation and identification, they will then present a report to the ownership, the president, the CEO, or whomever, or a boardroom full of these people, of who and what they can scale back on to reduce costs, lower their operating overhead expenses, and cope with rising inflation, a slowing economy, hiked interest rates, and potentially see themselves profit more by having less to pay for. So keep that in mind. Now, next up here, we've got an important story about the future of a specific industry. And this is something that Michelle and I talked about yesterday on a live stream over on Squirrel Tribe Life. I will try to remember to put a link in the description to that if you want to go check it out. And essentially, the automotive industry is, in my opinion, in big trouble. Okay, let's dive into my notes here. The latest from Amazon, as Amazon is poised to disrupt the car industry by offering vehicle sales online. And starting next year, this move is seen as a significant challenge to traditional car dealerships, including CarMax and Carvana. Amazon's entry into the market is expected to lead to a race to the bottom in terms of pricing, as consumers will have access to competitive prices and convenience through Amazon's platform. Hyundai has already partnered with Amazon to sell cars through their platform, and other automakers are likely to follow suit. This move is causing concern among shareholders of CarMax and Carvana as they see Amazon's potential to dominate the industry. Now, I'm going to pause right there because someone had mentioned how difficult this may be for Amazon to do. And one, we know that Amazon is in the middle of a restructuring and a relocation as they look to move to Florida, I think more specifically Miami, and follow in the footsteps of founder Jeff Bezos as he moved from Washington to his billionaire bunker private island in South Florida, be closer to his parents, I believe, and probably avoid state income tax. But regardless, I don't think that Amazon's going to have so much of an issue trying to overcome this because Amazon has a lot of money. And I can tell you this right now. If companies like CarMax and Carvana and Vroom and AutoNation and whoever else is out there can manage to do this online and make car sales in multiple states, maybe even in multiple countries, Amazon can easily figure out how to do it as well, and probably do it way more efficiently and effectively with their AWS system and eliminating the human component of it altogether, while not having to invest the money and carry the inventory and literally present their existing business model to the automotive world that uses Amazon as a marketplace for advertising so that their products are seen, bought, purchased, and then facilitated through drop shipping and handling. Plain and simple. It's print on demand for vehicle sales, basically. But we went into great detail over on Squirrel Tribe Life, so I'll drop a link down below. You guys can go check it out. Now, let's see here. CarMax and Carvana have both built their success on offering ease of purchase and transparent pricing to customers. But Amazon aims to provide the same while also ensuring competitive pricing, and this could threaten the profitability of traditional dealerships, which rely on higher profit margins. And that threat is going to come from direct-to-consumer sales, because CarMax isn't necessarily direct-to-consumer unless you're buying a new car. And I don't remember if they still sell new cars. Maybe they do. Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Stellantis, whatever. And Carvana does not sell new cars. I don't believe they sell new cars. So they don't have the same ability because they're all based on a third-party two-step middleman cost. Whereas Amazon is literally going to go directly to the manufacturer, never even touch the product and deliver it to the end user, deliver it to the customer, deliver it to the buyer, the new car owner, if they can afford the ridiculously high interest rate on these vehicles for 72 or 9,000 months. And with that, the manufacturer can lower the price tremendously because they have less to pay for. And then if Amazon wants to, they can capitalize on this opportunity by way of volume and completely take over all of the market share, or at least the majority of the market share, potentially squeeze some folks out, force some companies out of business, roll up and buy and execute on some mergers and acquisitions. And then we'll start to see the prices rise again because they have full control. Somewhat like a monopoly, but not. But either way, additionally, the rise in delinquencies and repossessions of vehicles, combined with CarMax's practice of holding its own loans, poses a financial risk to the company. And if more customers default on their loans, CarMax may incur losses on repossessed vehicles. CarMax, or anybody holding loans on vehicles today, based on prices from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years ago, anybody holding loans on those vehicles are more than likely upside down. And if you see high levels of default and high levels of repossession, they are going to lose their ass because they've got too much in these vehicles as it is. And then to try to sell them again after having been repossessed, they are intrinsically worth less. You can go buy a new car for less than you can buy a used car. Let that sink in. They are screwed. And it says that while Amazon's entry into the automotive market presents opportunities such as increased visibility for dealers' inventory, it also poses challenges, particularly in the used car market, where each vehicle is unique. And Amazon's success is in this space will require a different approach compared to selling new cars. I'm sure Hyundai is going to be selling new cars, but from the used cars perspective, I see an opportunity here for some scams to happen. Okay, there's going to be some stories of some folks getting took, spending a lot of money and not getting what they bargained for. Additionally, I can see this having a huge negative impact on the salesperson role from dealerships as they are eliminated and then replaced by Amazon. And lastly, overall, Amazon's move into the car industry has the potential to disrupt traditional dealerships and change the way consumers buy vehicles. Well, there you have it, folks. That's pretty much how it's going to go down. And speaking of going down, we cannot end this video without talking about the housing market and the real estate market, where HOUSINGWIRE has shared that high mortgage rates force some divorced couples to continue living together. And a new report in the Wall Street Journal examines the phenomenon, finding that some couples can't afford to leave behind their low mortgage rate after splitting up. Now, I've had this conversation several times before, but I'm not sure if I've had it with you guys here on this channel. And essentially, divorce can be trying. It can be devastating. It can take a toll on folks. But the way that the economy and the housing market and everything is pretty much turned upside down right now, it only makes it worse. So we're going to go through this summary here real quick. And essentially, HOUSINGWIRE and Wall Street Journal shared that the high mortgage rates are forcing some divorced couples to continue living together because they cannot afford to leave their home with low mortgage interest rates. The rising mortgage rates, which have exceeded 7%, along with record high home prices, make it financially challenging for couples to set up separate households after a divorce. Renting is also less feasible due to the significant increase in rents over the past 2 years. This situation has led to awkward living arrangements for divorced couples, such as assigning separate floors to each spouse, buying groceries separately, and scheduling laundry times. Many keep these living situations private from colleagues due to embarrassment, striving to maintain civility for the sake of their children until they can afford to establish separate residences. And some couples initially plan to refinance their home when rates improve, but are now facing divorces while living in homes that have lost value. They are finding creative solutions to handling these housing situations, such as one spouse finding an affordable rental while the other remains in the home without making payments until it sells. And another couple opted for a buyout arrangement due to the challenges posed by elevated mortgage rates, extending their financial commitment for 3 years. And essentially, where this puts folks is in a little bit of a pickle, because if you own a home that you may have actually purchased, honestly, it really doesn't matter when you purchased it. You own a home today, you're going through a divorce, and you're trying to split it up. Odds are the interest rates today are higher than they were when you bought it, or higher than they are currently based on your mortgage or your HELOC or your home equity line of credit or your cash out refi or whatever. So if you're going through a divorce, odds are, even though we've seen a decline in home values, the home is probably still going to be appraised and have equity in it, possibly if you haven't already sucked it all out, higher than you purchased it for. So now you have two parties looking to split. Maybe it's amicable, maybe it's not. Regardless, it's got to be down the middle, or 60-40 or 81-19. I don't know how it's going to go. Depends on your personal situation. But one of them either has to fork over the cash to pay the other for their equity, and or purchase or refinance the home solely, which can be a tremendous task right now, but also at a much higher interest rate. And this is going to cause a serious rub in the housing market and further slow home sales because people just can't afford to do it. We are literally going to see married couples becoming divorced, turning into roommates, sharing a home out of necessity and requirement than any other reason. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, it's like, then if you really wanted to make it happen, you want to pick and choose, well, what asset's going to be worth the most? Well, maybe you let the cars go so you can keep the house. Okay. And that's just going to further exacerbate the issue with the automotive and car market industry and repossessions and bank defaults. 2024 is going to be unbelievably chaotic and epic to watch unfold. And I'll continue to bring you guys the latest and share with you what I see, my opinions if you care. And as always, links in the description down below to contact. Come on over, check out Patreon. Everybody's welcome. There's even free options for everybody. And we post content over there pretty much regularly. And for those who have been asking or wanting to know, I will tell you, these sources will be cited in the description down below.